Hi, I'm Dr. Lance Now with Denali Consulting and 4% Breakthrough Communities. And I'm here today with Kaitlyn McKay, who's a serial entrepreneur, military spouse, owner of military maids, and growing a real estate portfolio, doing some incredible things. Kaitlyn, we're going to jump right into it. I have to ask you how you balance your home and motherly responsibilities with four young children, 5, 3, 2, and under 6 months, with all your entrepreneurial pursuits. How do you do it? We all want to know.
Well, to be honest, the entrepreneurial stuff has actually made me a better mom. As funny as that sounds, I feel like I was running on empty for the past 5 years being a mom, just trying to get by, trying to take care of all the littles. And then once I started working on my entrepreneurial stuff a little bit more full time, I realized my cup was getting so filled that I had so much more to give to my kids. So honestly, I've got my 6-year-old who is kind of helping me with the littles, so it's not as difficult. We make sure to set goals for them and for myself. And so, we hit the park, the zoo, wherever it might be every day. And then I have time to work on my projects as well. So it's a give and take relationship, and it's crazy, but it's exciting every day.
Yeah, well, and we have to tell everyone where you are right now. I mean, you're making time for a family vacation, which I'm thrilled at. So thank you. You're in Savannah, Georgia, and I was wondering where you were going to get your reprieve from the family. So obviously you're in the car, but yeah, thanks for making the time. And for anyone who's got any questions, jump in. Brandon, great to see you. So adding on to this first question, what role does your husband have in the home, and how do you divide kind of those barriers? Like, was this a last minute vacation? Would you have said no if this was planned? How do you make those decisions?
So I had this planned with you back, I want to say like 3 weeks ago. And about 4 days ago, 5 days ago, I was like, Hunter, let's go to Savannah. It's a 4-day weekend. Like, Amy, my 6-year-old, wants to go swimming. She literally helps take care of the kids so much, getting them snacks, getting them in their car seat. I was like, let's do something for our kids. And so we found a hotel with an indoor swimming pool because I don't want to be outside this time of year when it's colder. It's not even that cold. I'm getting hot in this car, but um, but anyway, so we just came here kind of last minute. And my husband, it is seriously like 50-50 taking care of the kids. Sure, I'm with him all day, 9 to 5, because he does work. He's a military member. So he works like his 9 to 5 type shift right now. And then, but once 5 o'clock hits, he comes home. He takes the kids outside. They play with the tortoise. I cook some dinner. We put on some music in the kitchen. My husband wrestles them. He is so intentional with our kids, and literally that's the reason why I can do all these things, is because he's supporting me. He's letting me do the real estate, my different businesses, and it's pure support that I get from him. So yeah, if it was just somebody similar to me that I married, we'd only have one kid, because it is hard to be a mom. But he's helping me, so he is very, very helpful.
No, that's so true. It is hard to be a parent. And, part of my story and message is helping entrepreneurs stay healthy and prevent burnout while they're scaling, their businesses and their lives. And when we had our third child and we had 3 kids under the age of 4, that was
Woohoo.
almost my demise. I mean, I got sick because I didn't have the personal professional development skills and we didn't have the business fundamentals. And I was just not practicing what I preach as a physical therapist and personal trainer. And my digestive system stopped working. So what you're doing is amazing. How do you handle it if your husband is actually deployed? Does he have to go away on long trips?
So, I mean, we're about to get stationed in Alaska. We have had the most magical military experience yet. He has not been deployed. He has not been gone longer than maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So we've been very, very blessed. I know so many friends who have not had our same story, and their husbands are serving every other 6 months. And I salute them. They're the military families that I'm like, thank you for what you've done. We're moving to Alaska in June, and I know he's going to be gone for at least 3 months while we're there doing different types of trainings. And then I'm pretty sure he'll probably be deployed at some point. And that's honestly why I have my projects. We're buying a fourplex in Alaska so that I can actually have a project to work on while he's deployed. I'm going to make one of them into like a short-term, mid-term rental. So I can take the kids over to it and they can clean it with me. We can start getting them an income, start their kid Roth IRAs. And so honestly, business is what's going to keep my sanity while I'm stuck in the freezing cold with my 4 kids. So that's how we're going to handle the deployment. I'm
Wow.
planning.
I love it. So much to touch on, and we're going to get into your specific investments. What I wanted to ask you next was how you knew it was time to, to spread your wings and blossom away from your job, right? And you had a great, job in the pharmaceutical industry with all that security and all those perks and benefits. And especially for, young parents who are entrepreneurial like you, how can they know that it's time to go for it? Do they have to have the side hustle to a certain point, or how do they handle it?
Oh, I love that question because I I've been doing little things here and there for the past couple years, like, oh, I'll start this little thing. Oh, I'll start this little business-minded group with my girlfriends that are into, real estate. And we'd have our little phone calls and it was fine, but we were all kind of the same level. We all kind of knew the same amount. So there wasn't ever this desire to go to something higher. And they always say you're the sum of the five closest people to you. And I've heard that a million times on all the podcasts. And I'm like, well, how do I find these people who are a million steps further than me? I'm a mom. Like, how do I find you? And so I started maybe back about 3 months ago. I started listening to about, I want to say 2 to 7 hours a day of podcasts. Just because I just put my little headphone in, go to the park with the kids. I'm listening to all this stuff, and my mind's just going like, "Oh my gosh, Kaitlyn, you can do more. Like you can do way more." And so, Brian Lubin, he has this course called the Action Academy, and he said, "Hey, if you want to hop on a 15-minute phone call with me, I'll talk to you about our community." So I was like, "Okay, I'll try it out." So I hop on the phone call, tell him all my goals, and he's like, "Girl, you got shiny object syndrome. You need a harness on one thing." And so I joined the group, and the community has all these different people. And that's basically how I was able to accelerate. Now, if I wanted to do self storage, laundry mats, what else? Multifamily, commercial, anything. There's at least 20 people who are happy to help me in this group, and I can learn from them. And now all these contacts. So it went from 0 to 1,000 with just finding your group. Whoever your group is, your community, that'll accelerate. I always heard them say not me, but we. And I'm like, okay, how do I find that we? Find your we and you'll go. The sky's the limit.
Yeah, Brian Lubin's a great guy. And speaking of groups, right? Him and I are in this group Go Abundance together, and I agree 1,000%. In the 14 months that I've been part of Go Abundance, and people really doing big things, totally makes a difference. And Rob Holman, welcome, and yeah, Brandon Neely, one of our JLD's favorite lines: "Follow one course until success." A mentor of mine. On the podcasting front, I listened to all of John Lee Dumas's, first 2,000 episodes, and that helped me so much. It was probably my single biggest resource. And before we end, I definitely want to talk about sort of like financial education and literacy for children, because I love what you're doing. And, I know so many people that are passionate about improving what's going on. A friend of mine, Dustin Yoder, has got a school in Philadelphia area that he's trying to work on that. So can you tell us how you broke into real estate investing, that first investment? Because even for myself, I've got syndications, but I'm still trying to pull the trigger on my first brick and mortar real estate investment.
Which is huge. That is
Yeah.
huge. I'm honestly, I saw all my friends next to me. I was telling them, go buy a house, go buy a house. And here I am sitting like not buying a house yet. And so we were living in Columbia, South Carolina. And I just thought, you know what? Let's just get a house. Let's buy a house and we'll make it into an investment property eventually when we move away. So we bought a house and we initially set it up as an Airbnb. So we bought all the furniture and everything like that. And it was scary. It was terrifying. The whole process of, oh my gosh, this is now my house. I now have to take care of it. Things are going to break and I got to fix it. It was scary. But we got it all set up as an Airbnb. And when we go on vacations longer than 3 days, we actually Airbnb it out. Because right now we're house hacking it, which is like kind of an untouched market. We're house hacking an Airbnb, but it has paid for our trips that we've gone on. So
How do you house hack an Airbnb? Can you just explain that for a second?
yeah, so we bought a house with a VA loan, so we obviously have to live in it. And so we got it all set up as an Airbnb. And then when we went to Utah for 2 weeks, we Airbnb'd it out. And we made like $1,500, and then which paid for the trip. And then we went to Disney for 7 days in January and then Airbnb'd it out. And I think we made like around $900 to $1,000 and helped pay for the trip. So once we move out of here come June, we'll be bringing in anywhere from 2,200 or sorry, excuse me, 1,500, 2,200 net is what the goal is with this Airbnb based off the market. A lot of people come to Colombia for holiday, birthdays, all that. So we had to do a house hack because right now with how the prices are so steep and the interest rates are so high, if we were trying to rent it out for 1,500 a month, we'd be like losing money, based off the mortgage and stuff. We'd be making pennies. So we thought for our area, we need to Airbnb this out. So that's really important to know when buying your first house. Is this going to be a long term? Is it going to be a midterm? Or is it going to be a short term? Because one size does not fit all for real estate.
Well, one thing I have to ask you, I just started catching up on a WhatsApp thread that I'm in on passive investing yesterday. And I was really surprised to hear a lot of the investors who are in short-term rentals selling their short-term rentals and just saying they didn't make sense anymore and getting out because frankly, one of the things I'm pursuing in real estate is a short-term rental in Maui, right? I have like 5 friends that have places in Maui, and Jody and I are getting pre-approval for that. And the one thing that, several people have told me they're attractive is there's a moratorium. If you're not getting a place that's approved as a short-term rental, no one else can do that. So there won't be additional competition like other markets. But of course, now I'm scratching my head and wondering, so yeah, what's your thought on short-term rentals and other options?
Yeah, so you honestly have to be extremely diligent on every area you choose. So we are choosing Columbia, South Carolina. I did my research on all the Facebook groups, joined, the Airbnbs, Columbia, South Carolina, all the different groups. I purchased the AirDNA 1 month $40 zip code to check out my zip code where it showed me different comps, how much people are making in my area. And then I just did a lot of research of like why people are coming to Columbia. And I looked on Airbnb itself. That's kind of the biggest sign. Look on Airbnb itself, and you can see how many people are in your area that are doing the same thing as you and see what they are missing. In my area, all of their pictures were really ugly. They looked really, really, really gross looking, and all their furniture looked so old. And so I thought, okay, maybe I can charge a little bit more and have pretty pictures and have nice furniture. Did that, and we've been booked 100% of the time when we've booked. Granted, it hasn't been that much, but we've booked the time that we have. So you have to do your homework. The sites again are AirDNA. You can also use Price Labs, the Facebook groups in the area, because not everywhere can be a short-term rental, and you might need a shift to midterm. If you have traveling nurses, if you have military, you might need a shift to midterm to make money because not everywhere makes sense for Airbnbs right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what some people were talking about. And we'll get a little deeper on this. Let's just let everybody know how we met each other. Matt Amabile, who is local to me here in the Philadelphia area and like 25 or 26. And his story is ridiculous.
Yes. He's a boss.
He graduated from college and, was on a couch earning like $50,000 a year and was frustrated and read like 3 real estate books and, created financial freedom and passive income in a couple years. Incredible. And now he's just in the time that we've really been close in the last 6 months. I know he went to Oregon and California for like a month and Puerto Rico for a month. And right now he's in Paris. And, everyone check out his Financial Freedom podcast, which is going to be amazing. But I'm glad he connected us because you and I were together. You were on our clubhouse room in the hot seat, sharing all your juicy behind the scenes.
Yes, I love Matt, and I love that he figured out something like something that we always talk about in the Action Academy group is either have to have the money, the hustle, or the knowledge. And so he had the hustle and he had the knowledge, and he figured out how to get these commercial properties and find the private money. And so he could be the boots on the ground, have the private money, and he was able to create this amazing, cash flow now. So I honestly, actually, we are just talking about them last night. I was like, dang, I want to figure that out for commercial real estate. I want to find me the private money. I will be the hustle, boots on the ground. Like, let's go.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's another thing I've, experienced triple net, and it seems like it would be so amazing on the landlord side of it, right? When people are paying the full taxes and fees, everything, just like they own the building. So, definitely triple net is something I would explore as well as possibilities. So, you talked about accelerating your speed with real estate. Can you go a little deeper on that? Tell us how you're
Totally.
really, and again, Alaska, gosh, that's exciting and scary all at the same time. How did you do all this research and get organized even before you're there?
Yes, totally. So Alaska, I was researching that a lot because I'm like, oh, Anchorage, that's the place to do Airbnb. I look on AirDNA and I'm like, gosh, there is so much competition. Maybe that's not my thing. And then I harnessed into my military community and I'm like, wow, a lot of people can't get housing for the first 30 days they're there on base. So a lot of them can get them after 30 to 60 days. So I thought, I can be their midterm rental that they stay in for 30 days, make a profit around, it depends because it's going to be a fourplex. So we'll have two people renting in the bottom that we have currently, and then we're going to make one of them the short term next to us. But it can profit around, the goal is around $1,500 a month off that one unit. And so I basically found the niche. You have to find the niche in each area you go to. And so we're going to be 10 minutes from the military base. We can throw a family in there for 1 month, throw them onto base afterwards. And I'm actually working with a company. What is their name again? They're new, Billets. Billets. It's a new company that's basically Airbnb for military families. So by working with her, we'll actually be able to charge a higher nightly rate, up to $295 per night for the first 10 days, because that's what we're allotted as military families. So I found a niche, and I'm basically just keeping to it. The niche in Colombia was Airbnb. Niche here is midterm rental. And after about a year, we're going to buy another fourplex with a VA loan and house hack that one as well. So that's kind of the goal for that area of real estate. And I'm trying to dip my toes into commercial real estate right now, but I'm at the very beginning stages with the self storage.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I'm just looking at questions flowing in, and we have some amazing entrepreneurs here with us live. So please ask some questions. We'd love to answer them. And here's from Rob Holman. Are your kids entrepreneurial? If so, how are they involved in your business ventures? You've touched on this, but can you go a little further?
I love to. So my kids aren't crazy involved. The extent they have right now is we bought the house. I said, okay, guys, let's clean our Airbnb together. And we cleaned the house together. And, I paid them a little allowance for helping out with that. But when we get to Alaska, this is what I'm so excited about. So we're going to live in the top unit, and the unit next to us is going to be the midterm rental. We are going to be cleaning that once a month, once every 2 weeks, whenever somebody leaves. And my kids are going to be able to now, I'm going to be able to get them documentation of their cleaning and their income, because I want them to make that income so that once they hit a certain amount, we can open a kid Roth IRA for each of the two oldest kids, probably starting. And they basically, the part that they have interest in is just the cleaning, having fun, and decorating part. So that's the extent right now. Their ages 6, 4, 2, and 0. So they're still little. But if they were older, like just continuing to give them like a little allowance for what they do. We have little piggy banks for, they put it into their bank, they put it into their tithing, and then they put it into their spending. So separating those things off as well.
Yeah, so good. And one of the things that I really enjoyed doing was setting up during the pandemic a brokerage account for my kids. And they each bought some stocks in companies that they're spending their money, Target, my oldest daughter, Sage, loved, and, Aspen bought some cash flowing, some companies that gave distributions, and my youngest daughter bought CVS, and they own Aetna Insurance, and they were, it really made them pay attention into the world. And it's funny, the comments that they make, right? When they're like, I own part of that company. How could that be? How could I own part of CVS? So yeah, so much fun. I love all the things you're doing. And yeah, I feel like allowances really aren't used that well. And it's easy just to kind of get lazy, right? And not set things up so that's actually like an incentive to do some things. Anything special you do with that?
Yeah, well, with the allowance, we give our 6-year-old $6 a week, and she deserves it. Like I said, she's helping me out cooking, cleaning, all that jazz. For she deserves it. And so every time she gets her $6, we bring it over to her piggy bank, and her piggy bank is split into three separate sections. Like I said, it's got the tithing section, it has the saving, and then the spending. And so we have her save the 10%, donate the 10%, and then she gets to keep the rest for herself. And so we're doing that when she's making this little money. But once we're cleaning the Airbnb, that's going to be like $80, $80 to $100 each time. So she'll be getting, about half of that. So that's when I'd like to do similar to you, Lance, having them invest into different little stock market accounts, doing whole life insurance policies, different things like that for them. The sky's the limit, but just our money is an open book for them. I grew up with it being very closed off. I never knew how much my dad made or how his money worked. And I think it kind of, I didn't learn about how to use my money until I was 22. And so I think it's so smart from the very beginning to teach them money is just a number, no emotional attachment to it. They know how much we make and it doesn't matter. It's just a number.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's awesome. So I want to ask you about your ultimate vision and even the rest of 2023. What is your plan for the year look like? And yeah, how much of your big picture vision can you tell us? What is the end goal?
Ooh, you ready? I'm in this hot car. I'm gonna tell you guys.
Okay, let's
I'm
go.
getting all excited.
I love it.
So the vision for this year, I'm working on getting into self-storage units. I never in a million years would have ever tried to get into self-storage because I'm like, you have to be a crazy millionaire to buy self-storage. And anyway, the excitement of what I've been doing. So I've broken my big goal down into daily habits. So every day I call one self storage unit company. Many good things have come from this. I called one self storage company and said, "Hey, are you interested in selling?" And they said, "No." I said, "Okay, I'll scratch you off my list." He said, "Why? Why do you ask?" And I say, "Well, I'm interested in buying a self storage unit." And he said, "Oh, well, I bought one last year. I would love to tell you how I bought mine. Come on by anytime." So I went over to self storage unit. He broke down the numbers for me. It was incredible. So that's goal number one. I call one self storage unit a day, and I'm learning mountains full of information. My goal number two is to visit one self storage unit per week. And so I've been doing that each week. And last week's visit was phenomenal. I stopped at a place called U Store, and the nicest property manager in the world named Damien, he spends an hour and a half just talking to me about how many units they have, how much money they make, what the net is of the owners, what the things are that other storage units are lacking. And I'm getting hours worth of conversation and studying on my own into just one conversation. So much though, so that I'm trying to find a storage unit in his facility, in his area, because I am so confident in him that I actually did kind of find one and I'm still researching it. So I haven't closed on it or anything fancy on it, but I'm trying to get it. And so daily habits. So you have your big goal and you break it down into daily habits. So I'm sure within this year, I'll probably have a self-storage unit. It's kind of inevitable with me doing this every single day because stuff just keeps happening. I have people with capital who are saying, "Oh wow, you're doing so much. I don't want to do anything. Do you want my money to go put into an investment?" So the money, if you're talking about it, if you're researching it every single day, stuff is just going to happen. It's inevitable. So that's kind of what I'm doing. My end all goal, if you're ready for it, Lance, is the best
Yes.
ever. The goal is in 6 years is we're going to have Hunter pop out of the military. He is going to be working. What his passion is a history teacher at a school called American Heritage in Utah, where our kids will go for free. It's a private school and it's really good. We're going to have anywhere from 4 to 6 self-storage units by that time. We'll have our two plexes and our Airbnb cash flowing about 10 grand a month. Self-storage unit, the goal is to be cash flowing closer to $100,000 a month. Depends how large and depends on what facilities we get. And every summer, teachers get 3 months off, right? So we're going to take 2 of those months throw the kids in an airplane and take them to a country. The first one's going to be Philippines. That's where I served my LDS mission. We're going to plant our flag there, stay in a house for 2 months, teach them how to wash clothes by hands, teach them how to be kind like the people are there, teach them how to cook, teach them how to serve, teach self-reliance classes to the people in that area. And we're going to live the life we love. And it literally, it's possible. It's just planning it out. So Lance, you got my vivid vision.
Oh, I love it. And I love Vivid Vision, right? For anyone who's not familiar with this book, I mean, a great book. Check it out. Create your own Vivid Vision. So much good stuff to talk about. It even just gone back a notch. Brandon Neely's in the room. He's going to want to talk to you about, whole life insurance. He's an expert on that.
He's
You know,
helping us right now.
oh,
We're in the process. Yes,
oh,
Brandon is helping me. Yeah, if anyone
fantastic.
wants whole life, go to Brandon because I've been so confused about it with the other people I've talked about it in the past, and he just laid it out. And I was like, that's how you do it, and that's how you use it.
Oh, I love it. So that's so good. And then, I mean, obviously you just laid out your vivid vision of having over $1 million a year of passive revenue. And in 6 years for everyone listening, right? So you've got a clear path and you're breaking it down to daily actions and every 2 months or taking 2 months a year to go to a new country. I mean, that's so commendable. That's so
I'm excited because it's
exciting.
literally going to happen. Like, there's nothing that I can see that I'm like, wait, we literally just have to keep doing these daily habits to hit
Yeah,
this overall goal. But some of us, like myself, just never think big enough. I would have never thought in a million years that was possible. But then I see little 20-year-olds in my Action Academy group who have a self storage unit and have a multifamily. And I'm like, if you can do it, so can I. I just have to think it and I can
for
figure it out.
sure. I know I'm so, this isn't the right word, but I mean, I love seeing all these young people with so much success. I just wish,
Yeah.
right, I would have surrounded myself, going back to your point earlier. But I guess I'm happy where I am and I'm just so thrilled to pay it all forward. And the same for you. So, no, that's an incredible vision. And yeah, within 6 years, we're going to be supporting you and cheering you on and your young family. They're going to do big things. Rob Holman's got another great question. What's with so much going on? What's one thing you do to help fill or refill your cup?
That's a good question. So honestly, I I'm one of those funny people who likes to work. I'm one of those funny people who works for fun. My cup gets filled. So, my passion in life is helping people become self reliant, helping people know how to use their money. And once they've got that down, go and share that. Go teach other people how to fish. And in this Action Academy group, I've been given a role in it. I'm the head of culture, and I've loved being able to help people. There's other people in my community who are saying, hey, I want to figure out how to do Airbnb, this is or that, and they're coming to me for this advice, and it feels so good to be able to help people with something I'm passionate about. I feel like I was so confused about where my passion lied, and once I figured out what that was and found out that there actually is a way to possibly make money at it, I got excited. And so I fill my cup with focusing on what I'm passionate about. I have to take time to have fun. It sounds funny, but I am like sometimes too much on work to where I need to relax and have fun. And so when I feel that cup getting on empty, I put on Peter Cetera and Chicago radio in my kitchen, and I say, "Kids, come and dance. Let's have a dance party," and we just dance and have fun. So it's important to remember why we're trying to make all this money, and it's for our families. It's with our kids. And so once you're feeling the emptiness of your cup, think, what do I need to recharge? Do I need to watch an episode of Shark Tank to have fun? Do I need to go dance in the kids with my kitchen? Do I need to go on a date night with my spouse? Because we all know when we're feeling empty, we need to do the things to take care of ourselves. And one large thing that has helped with that is Miracle Morning.
Hey, Kaitlyn. Yeah, we lost you. I know you're on the move in Savannah, and hopefully your service comes back in. But I'll just speak to some of those great points you made, right? Really knowing our boundaries, right? I laid this out, I call it the success schedule, and really defining your non-negotiables, your time for fun, your time for working on the business, your time for family, your time for your spouse, your time for yourself. And, to your last point, yeah, my morning routine keeps growing and growing. And it's only helping me be healthier and happier. So it's pretty incredible. And quick shout out to my uncle Tony, who's always been into real estate and just helping to mentor me into that as I, you know, move on this real estate part of my adventure. So hopefully Kaitlyn can jump back in here. Hannah, maybe you can resend her the link. Hannah's helping us behind the scenes. And yeah, so love the dancing and having fun and just really doing some of those things. So, you know, in case Kaitlyn can't jump back in, I want to share all of her. Hey, Cliff, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us. I can only see people who are writing the comments. I can't see all the socials. So yeah, write anything in there and your full name will come up. And Hannah, if you could just help share all or Kaitlyn's, I guess, your social media channels so that everyone knows how to get in touch with her in case she doesn't jump back in here in the next 30 seconds to a minute. Hannah, are you able to post that in the social, in the comments thread? So I think we might have lost Kaitlyn for good, and that's okay because she's going to break away with her family and have fun at the amusement park in Savannah. And I thank her, we thank her for all the pearls that she shared today. Sorry she couldn't say goodbye herself. Oh, actually, here she is. Let's bring her back in. Kaitlyn, we lost you.
I know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Phone overheated. Sorry, guys.
Oh,
I'm back at the museum now.
oh, good. I was just asking about how people can get in touch with you, but I did have one final question if you just want to touch on it. So how moms and dads who want to be more entrepreneurial and just aren't sure if they can do it, you know, any words of advice, final words on that, and any final messages you don't think we touched on, and then how everyone can get in touch with you.
Yes. So sorry for the background, guys. Anyone can do it. If you've got a passion, you can do it. I'm a stay-at-home mom of 4 kids. Like, if you write down like what I do in life, I would not be an entrepreneur type person. So if you're interested into it, do it. Also, invest in yourself. I had to pay money to join the Action Academy. It costs money. I was like, dang, I don't know if I can. I'm a stay-at-home mom. Why would I spend money on myself if I'm not trying to be like the provider right now? But because I'm really fine with my husband being the provider. I'm doing this literally for fun. This is for fun for me. I'm doing it for free technically with the Action Academy. So, if you want to do it, find a group, pay for a mastermind, invest in yourself. You're so willing to put 10 grand in a stock market account. Go take 5 of that and go put it in a mastermind group because that's how you're going to accelerate. You need to find the group, get involved in it, and shine in that group because all these other guys in the group, they have far more impressive portfolios than I do, work related. But I have gotten a lot of notice just because of the hustle, the work ethic, the excitement. So anybody literally can do any type of entrepreneurial thing that they like. You need to have a group. If you need to find a mentor, take that route if you're trying to get to a higher level in whatever you're doing. And do it with your spouse on board. My husband doesn't like to do these types of things, but he supports me. So having that relationship to talk about it. And you can just message me on Facebook. I'm Kaitlyn Lamb McKay. And I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have. Literally, sky's the limit. Just do what you want to do. Go from W-2 to passive income to then passionate income. That's what we all want to do is our passionate income.
Kaitlyn, I love it all. So good. Thanks for joining us today from
Yes.
beautiful South Carolina, beautiful
Yes.
Georgia, and South Carolina. And so many good messages. Everyone will definitely keep in touch with you and cheer you on. So thanks, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.